Do I regret this blind buy? Is it possibly one of my most favorite Amouages? Decide which one I don't know yet, but I'm gonna try to make this video worthwhile for you. I wonder which one I should unbox. Will it be Amouage Overture Woman or Silver Oud, or maybe try one of the new Amouages, these little samples. I think I'm gonna open first. This is going to be a first impressions video, and I think I'm gonna go unbox this Silver Oud because I should find out sooner rather than later if Royal Tobacco is going to be superfluous if one already has Silver Oud. This is new. It has a barcode. You can already smell something. Alright, I'm so not disappointed. These are the first things that I noticed. The oud here has a bit of there's something a bit camphoric about the oud that you get in Amouage Silver Oud. Very masculine. There's nothing obsessive or harsh about Silver Oud. It's not dramatically new. It certainly does not smell anything like Royal Tobacco. Royal Tobacco is so much more detailed, more intricate in some ways. But at the same time, Royal Tobacco also is very sweet. And so if you don't like sweet fragrances, then maybe Royal Tobacco might not be a great blind buy for you. Is Silver Oud a great blind buy for me? I'd say yes, because this is exactly the kind of fragrance that I tend to gravitate to. At this point, it's just been maybe 4 minutes. It's almost minimalist. I don't get the impression that there's a ton of notes here. Wait, about the Royal Tobacco thing, there is something common both to Royal Tobacco and Silver Oud. I just can't place it yet. If I figure it out while I'm editing this video, then that common note is just going to slide by. It's the wood here. The wood here is so beautiful. Interestingly, the word silver does make sense for silver oud because it's not gold. And of course, you have to be synesthetic to a certain degree for this to make sense to you, and very few of us are. Very few of us want to develop associations between fragrances and visual data. This one doesn't strike me as gold, certainly doesn't. Is it bronze? No, it's not that either. Think of white silver. That kind of quality, that kind of sheen. Makes sense to call it silver. In fact, it makes me think of a silver vintage car, such as this. I want to spray more. Alright, apparently if you do many sprays, the first blast, you're gonna get a sense of something kind of like fecal. But I think that's the sort of thing that happens. Every time something has oud and the oud has a fecal note, then the moment you spray it, because you know those base notes got exposed to the air, then you are going to get the impression of what is normally found in the base. But then, you know, give it a minute or so, and once it settles, once it dries down for, you know, after a minute, then that's going to probably take the back seat again. But at that spray, when I did those sprays, woo, fecal. I like this. There's a feeling of power, like raw power, raw strength. Uncomplicated. The personality is uncomplicated. What do I mean by that? Or what fragrance would give me the impression of a personality that is complicated? I would think, for instance, Opium Purom from YSL. That to me smells, you know, if it were a personality, I would call that complicated. This one is not complicated. Is it possibly one of my most favorite Amouages? Possibly, yeah. It might find a place in my top 10. My top 10 already definitely has Fate Woman. It definitely has Fate Man. It definitely has Epic Man. It also has Epic Woman. At the moment, I kind of like this more than Epic Man. Even though, of course, Epic Man is gonna scratch an itch that this one can't. This is really sexy. This is just a first impressions video, and the only thing that I could really answer at this point is this something that I regret blind buying? The answer is definitely no. Now, I don't know how much I will keep liking it, you know, over the next couple of days when I wear it more. But definitely, I certainly do not regret getting Silver Oud. It's less detailed than the older Amouages, like think of Journey Man, think of Epic. In terms of complexity, I think this is just as complex as Memoir Man. It's not as complex, definitely not as complex as Journey Man or Epic Man. So, you know, one way of putting it is that it's not symphonic at all. And that quality, that level of complexity, because it's not simple, it's certainly not simple, and I wouldn't call it minimalist either. It's just not, what I'm trying to say is that it's not very dramatic. It's not opulent in a dramatic way. It's opulent in a simple way. That quality is an advantage to it because Silver Oud then becomes more sexy and more modern. About after like 14 minutes, the frankincense is kicking in, and you know, standard Amouage frankincense, super high quality. It's not the kind of incense that you would get from designer fragrances, or even, you know, something like Rêve d'Ossian, which really was to me really unimpressive for an incense fragrance. Now it's been 14 minutes and I'm just now getting the sense of the elevatedness of the fragrance. It really wasn't apparent, not in the first 10 minutes. Now I'm getting a sense of both height and depth. I'll do a fuller review probably next year, but for now, as first impressions, if you are considering blind buying Silver Oud, I'd say, of course, if you could sample it first, then don't blind buy. But if you have no choice but to blind buy a full bottle and you've always liked Amouage incense anyway, and also if you like Epic Man, because I'm finding similarities between Silver Oud and Epic Man. That kind of masculinity, if you like that anyway, then I would say that it's a safe blind buy. Again, when is it a safe blind buy? Only if you like Epic Man, and if you like Amouage incense, and if you're already a fan of Amouage anyway, and you know that this house very rarely disappoints. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again.